There are questions. Question number 1. At the 7:30 morning meditation, it is suggested Lama Tsongkhapa can forgive our negative actions. I don't believe this is correct. Lama Tsongkhapa is the source we use to purify our negative action. We do the purifying and we forgive, and we do the forgiving, not some external being. Can Geshe-la please comment on the Jason Rava Geshe-la? 다른 쪽에 검겨되거나 아니 Lama Tsongkhapa 가수리 아니 Lama Tsongkhapa 아니 샤고 제너라바 아니 Lama Tsongkhapa 아니 제다 결혼 시작하지 결혼 공부 당너를 결혼 때 다우스 세그레스라바 I don't believe this is it nge temba mari samudos Lama Tsongkhapa the nganju 아니 지기 샥베 샥 디고 샥세 가수리 초신 그 Lama Tsongkhapa is the source we use to purify. Lama Tsongkhapa nganju 디고 샤에기 초신을 벼줬던 거래서 디고 nganju 샤고래서 아니 forgive 아니 제또 공부다는 나랑 당그래서 아니 치기 아니 때 가수리 미 첨부치기 아니 저주의 디고 소스 제 미신나제 다스람 다요 말해서도 제가 계실라 되고 공찬나로나서
아니 데이터 수수 저 이제 유명해요. 지난就是상상하면서 디바 다 알아. 아니 이제 매가 가둘라. 이게 라마존가에 전다 저랑 디바 다 그래. 하고 이제 치스라나. 그래서 이질레야를 펜더요 인자. 이 라이어스로 앞에는 도지sember기 건대체인데 이겨탕다네. 아니 도지sember마다 저랑게 디바 다 songs. 다 장마차대 요레스다 이제 치스. 아니 근데 송야기 디지 요레 가서래. 마 자기 라오지 요레디 이나 디바 타데 수 디바 타고 말한저 디바 타고 하는 메시지 나는 정가베게 네 디바 타그레 숭는 가지고 디바 타게 좀 말아 수수 주샤치에다 님부터 시 참여는 디바 타도 그래 님부터 시 참여는 디바 타도 그래 말해 어디게 네 당장라 디바데 타고 있네 타고 하먹고 어디데 근데 이제 용야 치드면 저거 나라 네 여러 와 이 도지sembe 검대나라 여러 이 템베디 라마존고 데네 네 디샤 치베 가둘래 스스든데 이지 지기네 야고요래 디 또다서 스스스는 팽도나 제 팽면도나 이거 내가 셔라
So here it comes down to one's own belief and conviction. Sometimes through purification one's negative actions may have been purified, but still one thinks to oneself, I have a long way to go. But then when for example, Lama Tsongkhapa is believed as saying your negative actions have been purified, then one is quite relieved by such statement. If you remember Vajrasattva practice, after you have recited 21 mantra of a 100-syllable mantra, then it says, the Vajrasattva says, "Oh child, all your negativities have been purified." So there is a place for such a thing, as is in the Vajrasattva practice. So if one has done a sound purification, applying the 4 antidotes, then there's no doubt. There's no doubt one can be quite convinced, whether one hears a statement or not, that one's negative actions have been purified. If one imagine, if you feel, if it helps, then believe that Lama Tsongkhapa makes such a statement. If it doesn't help, then don't do it. Then Geshe-la, could Geshe-la please explain the mandala offering words? Itam Guru Ratna mandala kam niya taya me. Ti 가르친 거 같습니다. Itam Guru Ratna mandala kam niya taya me.
예, 근데 저기 인구란데 로이 라마이단 군조선을 표로
No,
전다데다 직직的 니딩에 야부지 싱메로
나래.
전다도도데 예 인구란데 라마이단 군조선을 표네 아니 시에네 달라 친지랍드 서선다 시송스 친지랍드 서선 전다 어디로
So I couldn't be quite specific about each and every word. Although there are words you can figure out yourself. Itam Guru, Ratna, you know that. Mandala Kam, and then Niryatarami. And Krishna says, I can't be specific with regard to each and every word. What the mantra says in gist is, I have, with the mandala practice, I have extracted the essence, and here I offer the essence, taking essence, which is called mandala, and I offer this. I offer this to the Guru, and please partake, please receive these with kindness and joyfully for me. So that's the overall meaning of the mantra. When we do dissolution, we visualize the throne at our heart center. On top is a bright light, or blue, or simple hum. Ani lama ba tongwa ba tita jaba ma soso nyingal dudikal raba. Ani we visualize throne at rangi nyingal ani lama tongwa ba tiya ba je ditang soso sim rang sim. We carbon number chen raba. Or young man ego hum. If you visualize the seed syllable hum, and ego hum samtang bayana rang sim hum samtang bayana, what color is it? The dark color is the hum di.
그 된다고 생근내자단 내 세계가 가외란 신지 왜 가외란 신 삼다나 왜 가외란 신 코나 홍이면 남바지 삼다나 가도디 가외란 신왜 그런 신지 삼다나 야고요 그래서
So here, since we are seeking stability of concentration on the mind, it is good to visualize hum as white in color, but it's not just a paint. It is white light, which has assumed the shape of a hum.
다디 뒤윤 이기 삼 단계 나래 아니 샘 참모 삼 단계 나래 띠야 아와 샤연데 네베지 카르소레 심리야 지 대화로 시대기로 가워로 시대기요 아니 지 수수심 수술라 지 닝도 되게요 다 말아주 디둑 당용 중세계 자와 내리샤 삼상으로 지와 데 레르와 다 코어 코리아게 자와디 코나 레도 와 텔레딘데 코드보다 먼저 당부 기운디 딩안에야 기운 거래다 지메바 시르디 양 참마들 팀제 시르 거래 다디 지듐바지로 지듐바지 건다만 얘들 건다만 이거라 아니 니 그거 시대다 따지 되니지나 다들 했으면 따지 되니지나 아니 당부 아니 가르가도 따더라 미 통해야 가르고도 미좀 남으시 니 그거 말아 가시 미 다니 니 그거 당부 미 통해야 가고도라 미좀 니후대로 아니 미 통해야 가르고다 아니 가자질라 암조 거야 되면 차로 암조 거야 매우 차보다 루시기 다 녀야 되게 빠르라 세계 가셔지 되거라 네 마팀도 아니 간단하지라 아니 심기 전야 되게 마 전야 되게 라르니 소치 전야 라도 아니 낙동동로 차도도 아니 니 레옹어라 니 레르도 다디 니 국대도 니 거에서 세그라다 아니 니 후랑 배제 뭐였어요 내가 가고라고 남자 다디 되게 심 누름지 여러 당 상물라 다디 사바든데 곰 찍치고 말아 하나 상물은 니 쿠르도 그 쉐와 되용 쉐와도 맞지 나는 이거 말아 어디에 막 건단 얘가라고 따지시 아니야 자곰 주는 거 자니 저랑도야 근데 곰자 근데 아니 쉐와데 내저로 때때지 생 우주 곰단 곰 가리나지 야고래는데 아니 니후로다 곰자도 들어 야 디주 곰자도 니후로도 그냥 디두기야 데 쉐와 드림지여라고 야 텔라 다토이나 야쇼어다 되와 근데 디즈릭도조다 먼저 뒤진 곰자도 먼저 미빠스 대지 소고다 되나 chanju sem de su sem de chanju sem kan fa ke jo ro ho ani la ma ra ko ngui tamba ko ngui na jing na wa jing sha jing che go da ya jing so go da ta dang yi gom ja da rim ni de la je so pa so go ya ma re kan yo ba di ngo shi na da ge de wo da wa ha ko na ta de la ni sem ta da wa da ta ke sing an zo nam do la da dang de ya wo xian bi na an de de ge gyurim de ye de xian de 아니 셈 팀린디 시 아니 신도 다 셈세리 셈 참우라 간데 두고 유메딜라 아니 가능한 잠지 거대로 오지다 이지로 오지 레용데 다디 제가 nga nyamlen do mong ba ji shile yo ba chang chang de la len ta ya chang chang she yong da ro de zo ana zo da ti yune to na chi do yin ani ya wo yo re es ro
So when you concentrate on, in this case, since it branched off from the question whom, so when you watch whom, then it is your mind, and it is the mind, and what comes from that. Do you experience Dewa means sukha, well-being, joy, courage, or sadness, melancholy? What comes to mind? And so all kinds of experiences are undergone, and it is the mind that is the agent of samsara, and that is the agent of enlightenment. So it's the mind that goes through the death process. It is the mind that emerges from death into new life. So if you can deduce the process from what you experience, for example, during sleep. When we sleep, a lot of dissolution takes place, like during actual death, actual dissolutions takes place. So when we sleep, actual dissolutions takes place. So just as you are about to fall asleep, watch what dissolves first. The first thing that dissolves is object of a visual object, and as you fall asleep, as you are in the process of sleeping, your eyes close, and therefore visual objects kind of dissolve. The next thing is you stop hearing things. Sound dissolves, and after that, sensations in the body, and they also, you don't know, physical sensation, tactile sensation becomes weaker and it dissolves. At that time, when that happens, it is as if you have become unconscious. Dempa Yel means you have lost, your memory has disappeared. So at that time, there's kind of noctum, means then deep sleep befalls in a kind of a deep the dark space. Deep sleep befalls in the form of a dark space, and that is called sleep clear light, and quite difficult to identify unless one has done a lot of practice in this area. We can also see the dissolution process when people, especially with people who have done meditation for a long time. So when they meditate, and when the mind sinks into the object of concentration with a quality meditation, there is a kind of sleep-like experience. There is a kind of sleep-like experience where the mind in deep meditation then withdraws, and like I've just described, these dissolutions do happen even for that mind. So this, like the dissolution during sleep, the similitude of its dissolution during sleep and in meditation are things that happen naturally. Whereas when you meditate on bodhicitta and when you meditate on the Buddha or the Kalamatsangkhapa, you have to channel the energy of your mind to become bodhicitta, and then if you have a Buddha to visualize, you have to have something from outside before the mind's eye to fix the concentration on. But here, in this context, you don't have to do anything. You only have to pay attention to what is happening naturally, naturally to one. And 계시에서 가능성은 지금 남도 티름 아니 참모 거도 nga rim신 봐.
그래 ngāgi lūla nī shīla yuwa dī lamla chīyā gīdā
Lare.
chī la thārlam dī shīgī yorwa.
So thank you. So in tantric practice, what they do is they employ what happens in ground reality. Shi means on the ground reality. They use what happens as ground reality as as a vehicle for spiritual advancement.
세상 단단한저 다 단단한저 자진저 심라 메베 내자 두고 yorwa 내자 두고 yorwa. 내자 디베디 야 내자 야고 차비나 아니 지 수고나게 자숨 세다가 세다 두고라다 수고나게 자숨 세다 너도 노루 고루 세디 자 우메나라 주니 북당해 봐 대대나시 아니 북등원에 땅 룽등원에 자 세다 자나가 룽디 자 우메나라 쭉투비나 아니 단단한 라관양아 팀당 시갈라고 팀당데 직접 직장 연구 안데 바로라 자 우메나라 슈니다 야마지 닝게게 자게 되어 마트디 예다면다 바로라 아니 가리용 거라서는 지 군도 자주도 팀이야 그런 바차가 아니 네 제가 닝게게 자도 용스 좋은데 아니 셈 담어도 뺐다 라고 참아 가지로 미게 통하여 말에 암저 거예요 말에 루시녀요 말에 아니 네셈 담어도 지고미지 요 말다 아니 셈 담어도 남진 거래야 지루도 장가 나게 중계 체단 실을 이어봐디 남진 거래 기다려 봐 지난다 믹스에 체주 쇼 요래라디 균제 요들에 해서 봐
in Mahamudra context, at the beginning, what we are attempting to do is develop shamatha in relation to mind as the object, using the mind as the object of single-pointed concentration. So, if one has had some success, then one will be able to take what happens at the ground reality as a path to enlightenment. For example, when you visualize, remember, when you visualize the three channels, the right channel, central channel, left channel, then I ask you to do the 9-round breathing exercise, whereby finally the winds in the side channels are channeled into the central channel by way of inserting the lower ends into the central channel at the lower terminal end. And the same process happens at a higher level of tantric practice, which okay, which which the same process happens at a higher level of tantric practice, which happens at the ground reality, at the ground, at the present ground reality, and that is when everybody as a human has got these three channels, and when one is going through the death process, for example, um, the, the the winds flowing into the third channel, they stop and they enter, and they enter, they abide, and they dissolve. And then when the winds completely dissolve in the central channel, uh, one uh, one will experience what is called all empty, which is indwelling, uh, subtle or innate subtle mind, and as which is used um, as a means to understand emptiness. So just as these dissolutions happen at death, the same dissolution process is actively undergone by tantric practitioners while they're not dead in the deep meditation, and they're visualizing the channels, the nerve centers, and they go through the dissolution process, uh, and then ultimately try to arrive at clear light phase. And that clear light or the indwelling mind is then taken as a means to understand emptiness and develop so many other things.
Right, that.
The, the aim of second scope is liberation for self. And kibu dingi and chogo de raba, rangi tabe tondore raba. And they so we need ethics, concentration, and wisdom. They la tutim things in cherub goddess. Why is karma abiding wisdom not included in lamrim? Jaza kibu dingi chogo gala shine da laudong se and moju general, and it's a labasum to the kainam sondo. The kibu dingi chogo gala shine laudong 창여 창여 말이지 벨듯이
요다 요래 다데 띵띵이 라바나라 신에 두고요 아니 셔럽지 라바나라 아니 도디 두고요 가서 빼나단다 타도 로다디 셔럽지 라바 고고요 라와 숨문나 신에 대한 상동세 타녀 체험 명체나 마체나나 띵인징이 라와서디 대디나라 신에 라 냠네디 자자 셰연 거라로
라렐
아니 셔럽지 라바나라 동반이 셔럽 나게쇼 담에도 왜 셔럽 셰고로 띵인징이 라바나 삼대 셰원데 디 신에 긴와도 고고요 그래서 제가 그 신에들 하동을 속도 타녀 체나 마시나 디나라 고고요래 라부숨나라 신에 한도 뒤대요 그래서
so um, come abiding and sorry come abiding and special insight are very much present in the practice of middling scope. In the middling scope, as the person has identified, you need three things: ethics, concentration, and wisdom. And they're in the higher training of concentration. It's all about samadhi. Because it's all about samadhi, and there is shamatha very much in there. In the higher training in wisdom of selflessness, absence of intrinsic existence, of phenomena and self as a person, and that is vipassana very much live and well in middling scope. It's just that the terms are not used. Online, a lady called Sue Sutton, if I'm sorry, Shorten or Sutton? Sutton? Shorten, sorry. If I mispronounced your name, I apologize. Memories pop up as thoughts. And so memories and the other jabby temperature, the jabby, the magic, jabby, memories, any chicken, nam to, all showing to, and we are constantly accessing our learning. And ngan zu ka tu ne ngar jang ba jor wa jang ba tian ge ji yang se yang ngar jang ba zhe ne xia zhe ji ni de leng ge wa song du. What relationship do memories and learning have with the mind? Jason ngar ge tem ba jor di cha be di je mi an di da ngar ma di ngar jang ba jor wa ngar di che ge tem ba ta ngar jang ba di sim de jo ka yo ro song du. Are they mind or are they separate from mind? Just ngar ge jebe temba ta ngar changbe ani chi ta xie che jor wa ti sem da ta da re chip re so do.
이제 정말 셈래 전부 정말 셈래 그렇죠 전부 정말 셈래 셈 다 대나네 하고 되는 만서 단다 신의 두 세도 또다 전부 때 못 써야 되다 그렇죠 전부 가르 때 벌서는 단다 그나 다 단당 알아서 있나 셈 세릭 차도 무슨으로 아니 딜라 마용 버전 대해서 디 템베나네 미뭐 마셔 시시 대냐 돼서도 셈디 아니 랑보체나 신체 랑보체데 타고에 주어나 신 미바디 안 단단한 그 셈디 차와 셈 세릭 차와 다 델라 타고 주니서데 첨바로 첨바디 그 셈데 말려버시 가주 대도이나 디지 딩인지디 템보 차로 거다 제가 첨바 템보 차야다 탑세 가려여서데 셈 다다월 되고 그래서 다 탐난데 데이터가 가두이나 가서 락다운에 가두이나 심리다 다다오거나 데이터에 제거를 했을라디 이 곰자야게 첨바지고 말하다 나는 가리 내가 가리네 첨바 그봐 내가 지치도 미망고지다 나는 믹스에게 야야 러셔르처르 첨바 때문에 강이 무도와 디 내가 보다 가지고 쓰는데 가두이나 심리 다다오거나 봐 그래서 내가 가르치고 있나 기간은 심리 샤도이나 콜라 바자데 투부샤고요라 바자 투부샤나 아니 tenyaade yago yungure benna chana zoge mi nge dinde ko tonan chigido mi khashi mi jigi minglaro mi jigi minglade 아니 너도 저도 하네 미밍디 계좀 쉬지기도 mi khashi mi di mingdi tsar chikni sum koran labdeyo nge dinde tons mi khashi nge mi saoji minglade jondaoji lagena 아니 존 디다 코데오요라 디 제기 민니와데 코하고도 니 코나데 사르니 숨인데 겨지 되기도 민지가 디켜나데 만 처에나라 디 냠nen데 요레스로 전부 덤버서야 탐람데 요레스 디 요레는 다다데라 바자 두고 셔야 배전디 제비나 전부데 데 배차잖아 저런서 망고질라 모데 디미 마니베스 심데도 아니 이 모델 디미 계산시 모델에 atten서 틀다 나저로 디미디 대샤야다 정말 숨쉬지 랍더라 다 드링에 디미디 대샤야다 다 디미샤서 대사제 될샤야다 사르니 숨지 랍다 아니만이 남산 텐도 그래 어디 참바 때문에 탐난다 단다 신내 슬라나 말라나 근데 템바 미과지가 정말 많이 되지 까마지 까마니 까무송 까마 아니 최저지 대도 있는 템베 유인이 장제 대대가 템베 유인 내가 디님도다 저도 띵이지 쉐기 ordele 템바 템바 서사는 리자다
the question and ngar temptation and the same race and ngar junction learning ngar ji mabu ji junction ngar jang pe te chi she de jaro this same remare so first of all the question asks are they mind or are they separate from the mind and answer in gist is they are minds. They are minds. So at the moment, what we are doing here in this course is we are trying to develop concentration on the means on the luminous cognitive nature of the mind, and so what do? We try to let that translucent knowing property of the mind surface in the space, surface, and then rest on it without getting distracted. So when one attempts to rest on the object of the translucent knowing mind, one is employing the force of mindfulness. One is trying to employ the force of mindfulness and concentration, whether one achieves or fails in development concentration. Ultimately, it is put down to whether one has had success in mindfulness or not. So the clarity, the clear knowing space of the mind is the object, and which happens to be the mind, and then one uses mindfulness. This factor. I think this is one of the mental factors, and this mindfulness is used as a rub. So in other words, the object of concentration here is mind's own nature, and it's like an elephant. And mindfulness is like the rope, and then it's a matter of tying mindfulness on the object. Anyway, as I say, I have said it many times that it's really important to remain in the present moment of the mind. And the mindfulness is not only being able to remain in the present moment is not only a vital thing in concentration practice, but it is also equally important in everyday living. For example, remembering people's name. In the West, remembering people's name is considered a very important skill, but some people have problem remembering people's name. And somebody says, "I'm John," and although John is easy to remember, the surname is forgotten, and therefore some people make an attempt. Some people make it a point to remember. When they hear people's name, full name, they repeat their full name quite a few times in order to develop familiarity with it. And with the familiarity grown, when the familiarity grows, and then it's easy to access that knowledge. And I say to car key, people have remembering where they have put the car key. If they form a habit of putting having a particular place where they hang the car key, and then say to themselves, I've hung the car key at that. I've hung the key. If they do this few times, it will help. Loss.
rồi đến thở đấy
That do. What is the difference between the emptiness of the mind that is free of thought and the emptiness that lacks inherent existence? What is the difference between emptiness of the mind and emptiness of the mind that is free of thought, and emptiness that is a lack of inherent existence? The Tokpa Jebe Sim Tongpa New Joro, Tokpa then dealt with Sim Tongpa Ni Tang, and she any Rangshin Jube dealt with Tongpa Ni Kapakar or something. Now, the emptiness of the mind that is free of thought. Tokpa the Jebe, the Tongpa, La. The Marikashira. Because emptiness of the mind that is free of thought. Similar Tokpa, same Koran Shateara, same with and Tokpa Unimabajara, same the Rashin of Tomorrow, and Ditang, Tindre Tombata, any emptiness, and it Rangshin to be Delve, Gakjat and Deva Tongman Kebakayara. What's that? And you should that.
The Ranshin TV that happens, the Tokwa the TV Tongman is in the color.
Of this Tokpa similar, Tokpa the Deva similar, Tokpa
the TV sim.
Tokpa the Deva Simki, Rangshin to Tombatanga.
Tokwa the TV sim Ranshin to it.
Long, Tokpa Leva. The penetration. Newman Henji gave a similar called dissimilar, Topo Mara, when the Tombo is a war, just Koranshin to a Tombatan, and you Rangshin to a Tong there. Tony Tilla, Gaja Teta, Gaja Rangshin to a Teta, the new Kavaka reson.
The Newman Hinji sim, Tokba maybe any Ranshin to a Tombo said, the Ranshin said. Tempo to a tombola jana, and it's what you get over. Raja Rashi sim Rashi to a tomba said, Togba, Togba, maybe that you sim Serigi cha, you may sim, the Togba Toma Meva cha. You know, Rashi to a tomba race, and Rashi to say the tempo to Rashi to a tomba sena, and Chawaga Yomare.
So, an example of a mind that emptiness of the mind that is free of thought. So a classic example of a mind free of thought is, let's say, the indwelling innate mind and its emptiness of inherent existence. And the emptiness of the mind and the emptiness that lacks, Geshe-la says that they are the same.
Diane do some down dear some die you didn't usually penna. And the Comja or no Comja, any Comja scenario. That Namdo some garo, Namdo some pie any. Don't say shake door. Namdo Gavek, I just shame with Tomba Shelo.
Long.
Or tea Tomba tea, Rashi do a Tomba Maresdi. Namdo Tomba Tomba, so this two see your chennai we are.
So, when you meditate and some thoughts have arisen and you watch the thoughts, and then the thoughts fade away, and there comes Dongseng, means an empty space, expansive empty space. That is emptiness. It's a kind of emptiness. It is emptiness of thought. That space is emptiness of thought.
콩바디 있는 단다 간주 미망고도
Lare.
시 칸데라 다 단데 진라디 트디 시정어라 니 콩바디 동바 차로라 미미메베 동바 차라
Lare.
나디 동바 니레 라고 말와 지난 시간은 단다 두세 곰지 자가시고라 단다 곰자나 마자나나 그래서 단다 다 저는 레베나라와 레베나라 남도 칸 단도 심 켈리니도 있는 심데 베데 남도 강제 대대여라다. 근데 곰지 갸변데 지 셈데 내자 다다가는 지 도연데 도스래. 먼저 대변 내주상 그냥 다니 남도 디제데 동아차. 마음베르와 진이디 제데 매와차. 셈데 다다가는 대워지고게 동자 쉬우지 셈데 동자 쉬우지 근데 코코야나는 배 가면 요소르시 남도 디제면은 알 개면 요소르시 봐. 단단한서 남도를 저거 디제 되제 저거대 망다 쉬어 근데 강제 배 등피제 배 생잡제 되대로 곰지 개데 디제 파 예르데 배 동상으로지 가면 요소르지 남도 그 동배 동거지 곰도네 야고도 하다
No. So at the moment, our mind, not our brain, but our mind is full of namdo means discursive thoughts, and they are running, they're crisscrossing. And as you keep meditating, the frequency of thoughts decreases, and then thoughts, as we have been told, they fade and then they fade and disappear when you rest on a particular thought and watch it. When you rest on a particular thought and watch it, when you rest your mind on a particular thought, rest on it, which is the present moment. So when you rest in the present moment, watching the thought, without going to the past, reminiscing the past events, or preempting the future and bringing future projects to the mind. When the past is eliminated, future is eliminated, there's a present, and that present moment is emptiness of thought of the past and present, and the thought itself, which one was focusing, has also faded away. What is there? It is as if there's nothing left. So there's an empty space. So we have, for example, this hall at the moment is full of people. At 5 o'clock, the hall achieves kind of emptiness of of the attendees. In the same way, the mind also achieves some degree, or mind achieves the same kind of emptiness or the absence of thought, and which is a vacuous, free space. No.
그다음에
The question, what's the question? The question says here, what relationship? Could you restate, please?
How is it that emptiness you just described different from the lack of true existence of the mind?
Are they the same? Is the emptiness of the true existence of the mind the same as what's being described here? Is the mind being just in the present moment?
No. The Geshe-la just said it's different. I will ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I think what was tried to be
Okay.
clarified, because it sounds like when the word emptiness is used, it sounds like it's maybe similar or same
emptiness.
We might say at 5 o'clock the room is empty of people. We wouldn't say emptiness of people.
Did I say emptiness of people?
Well, we didn't quite get what the difference was.
Kishilarwa.
Mm-hmm.
Sim rangshin triba tongpa tanga, sim tempa triba tongpa tanga raba. Sim namdo go tongpa la tongpa nila kia tingi go tongpa raba. Ting kiaba kaya ra songdo. So big difference.
sim namdo tongpa te tongpa remaji tongpa ni ma resta.
The absence of thought or in the mind is empty, not emptiness.
tongpa ni sa de ne rangshin ji triba tongpa kaja kakam jikshavro ni sa de tongpa ni sa de.
And for emptiness, it has to be a non-affirming negative of negating true existence, the object of negation.
어디 동바 니라데 쳐와치 뭐야. 제가 단데 셈남도 그 동바데 동바래. 동바 니 말해.
아니 그래서 셈나도 동부도 군접으로 와.
군접래. 셈남도 동바데 여러. 군접래. 단단데 뭐 그런 말와. 동바 니 말와 지금.
So anyway, the mind being empty of thought is not a non-affirming negative. It is a relative phenomenon that exists. It's a conventional phenomenon. Whereas emptiness of inherent existence or emptiness of mind, emptiness of mind is ultimate truth, which is negating the object of negation of true existence.
셈기디. 내 룩타도 들어와. 단단데 말와. 셈 동바니 들어와.
나를.
이제
No, they shouldn't. The emptiness of mind. No, that is the question answered, or at least in part. Okay, dear Keshila, if we practice Mahamudra wholehearted, do we need to consider doing Tantra as well? And Chaki Chembu sim rota Chaki Chembu ani takasari nyamni pyuta jabe na raba ani nga nyamni jiko gurbe sungdo. Yes, by all means.
lamegi one top and tizama say any tea top tea yun yu tamo tamye gwarda 타두기다 lamegi 디 nga dan jewegi ni 지난 단당에다 로고 지지 결혼도 시고 얼미시지 승주 고도 디지털 시에 요만당 거는 신으로 당에 바자샤 그래서 로고 지다 디나라다 와 모두 뭐 남고마이니데 여러고 다 바자샤 그래서 삼데 근데 전에 결혼도 취시지 펜토는 알 디부사는 다 개미도 텐쟁에 로고 지지 너네
So yes, we need to practice Tantra, especially highest yoga Tantra, and get initiation, get full explanation of the practice, because that would lead to Tantra Mahamudra. And here I have made reference to Tantric Mahamudra, although I should be a bit wary, but I have made references here and there and shown a bit of Tantra, thinking to myself it would be good for people to hear such things, because in the long term it will be useful for them. Although personally I would suffer some breach of Tantric code of ethics But if it benefits others, then I say to myself that I can deal with that.
이마 상대로 이제 순서 심진이 되는지 펜토는 야월见나结果确认미신이 두부다 디워사제 야월见네 미신을 펜토 나가 템벌 슈 때는 또 많냐니 나가 지지지는 야월 지그래 지지 야월 제다 쉬우죠라 봐
네.
다 야월见나 결국确认네 로고 쉬우실랍서
So I got a sense of courage from Samdong Rinpoche, a prominent figure in Tibetan community in exile. Samdong Rinpoche was the ex-prime minister, a great scholar, and he said, it's all right for me to go. If I explain Tantra in my bid to benefit, help others, as a consequence, I fall down, so be it. I don't care. Because people go to hell, or people are reborn in hell by doing totally heinous things. They go to hell, and they go to hell because of their negativity. And if I go to hell because I was trying to help others, then he said, so be it. So I got the courage from him. So maybe I will be following Samdong Rinpoche down there.
안다디 단데 티워단다니 제상 먼저 마가 나 슈바니 차진 가르 거래스데 망바도 임베셰 뭐셔로 안디가라 투모 남자디 거래 찬주 쌤 인지 동만이 더발라 아니 찬주 쌤데 지나게 찬주 쌤 많이 봐 마가 찬주 쌤디 거래다 마가 찬주 쌤 니중데 마가 찬 니중 동만이 더발로 데 마가 동만이 더발로 이 정말 아니 나게 찬주 쌤이 씨나 디차로 그래 당고디 맞자데로 봐 아니 되네 왕토 그래다 배나가서 직지도 지기는 직지기 왕세대 가서나 촉진 쇼거다 아주 직벌어 봐 거는 저러 예 뉴질랜드라 이 강바자고 주나 이 로고 시티 가서는 촉진 쇼거도 알아
그래.
근데 나시 가서 이 하고면들래 답에디 차시 싸워지 그 대치하게 촉진 쇼거고요 왕세대 그 조정 가르치고 그러잖아 기름당 조림 고미하게 냠내는 놈 단다디 기존이체 아니 왕라 강알이네야 아니 지 망부지 셰어 되는다 자규주주네 전에 라미 규디 시체 딱갑디 조디 라미 라미나라 아니 규디 시나게다 라미 조디 디나라 아니 람 기름당 조림 시제니 이게 아니 고미하게 톱단디 왕자 때서 어디때로 기름곰 조림 단단한 저기 육심 담모 농오면은 슈스데 조림기 람기 림베기 도안이 디시 잡용 거다 제가 야 첨자 가진 잡셔야 되더라 야야 첨지 시고다
So to say something about Tantra, to practice Tantra, first of all, one must be a Buddhist, and secondly, then one must have the three principles of the path: renunciation or definite emergence, bodhicitta, and emptiness. So you need tantric renunciation, tantric bodhicitta, and tantric context emptiness. Once you have these, then you need initiation. What is initiation? Initiation is getting permit to practice completion and generation and completion stages of Tantra, For example, okay, so whatever highest yoga tantra deity you want to practice, whatever completion, okay, whatever completion and generation stage of any tantric practice you want to undergo, you have to get initiation, get permission, and give a. So, for example, when somebody builds house in New Zealand, you can't just build put a house on a plot of land. You have to get a permit for everything. Only then can that be done. And in the same way, you get permit by way of initiation, and then engage in generation and the completion stage. I have, for example, in the completion stage, what you do is you concentrate on the vital bodies, the subtle bodies, which is, the central channel, nerve centers, central channel, and then, at the completion stage, you channel all the winds in the central channel, and then through the power using techniques employed, let the energy of the wind enter, remain or abide, and dissolve, and then let realizations dawn.
그다음에 기름기 내가라 하다 긴고다 참마 매버신 보면 레스로와 매버신 아이나 딜라 구슴남지 냠네들 망고여와 네디 디나가라 네지 라고닝은 팀다다 또 매버신 샤야들와 조림이 내가라 아니 곰베 더기와 곰도기 룽우메나나 슈네 튼숨 쪽버사들이다 쪽진세 쪽림세 쪽세데 가서는 곰베 더기 룽우메나나 슈네 튼숨 제어를 때네 아니 심 참모디하고 규제 디 아니 하용오지야 딜라 아니 조림세데 탄다고네 디네레용 거와
In Tantra, in the highest yoga Tantra, there are two practices, as mentioned before, generation stage and a completion stage. Generation stage means you are permitted now to generate yourself into the form of the deity. And here in the generation stages, the dissolution processes are also practiced, but at the means at the visualization level. You also practice kusum lamki, means taking 3 kayas on the path. In other words, taking 3 kayas on the path. In the completion stage, you actually channel the wind through the power of actual meditation rather than through visualization and imagining. Through the power of actual meditation, you channel the winds in the central channel and let the most subtle indwelling mind become active and manifest, and then that mind, which understands its own emptiness of inherent existence, is generated, or that mind which understands its own emptiness arises actually as a deity, not visualized. That's all. So let's go through where we left off in the Mahamudra text.
왔다 제 뒤중에 나와 아니 지 우중 갸사회 타게 나와 핑비잖아 되게 라마닝슈 체베가 나와 핑비잖아 되게 어딘 데게 내가 될라 아니 제도 매베 토네 아니 직직 바까고야 지수 두고야 근데 간 마야메 체제 아니 근데게 되게 간라 나와 핑비 나들라 요메 주세 냠바샤고 레스타 냠바샤스 되게 간라 샤제 심신라 도요 마레서 오르라
So stanza 13. We have come across this many times, and its content has been explained as well. So whether through meditation or through breathing meditation, or by dissolving guru into one's subtle mind, and then when you watch what follows, what ensues at the end of the breathing meditation, or what ensues at the dissolution of the guru into one's subtle mind, then now a benbin, and it's now a benbin, or this evolving, arising appearance. It says, unwavering remain in equipoise briefly in this natural appearance that arises, whatever it may be, whatever the appearance may be, something is arising in the space of the mind. So without contriving anything with such thoughts as hopes and fears. So anyway, without hopes and fears, without diminishing the past and preempting the thought, and then rest on it, relaxed.
어다 딘데게 내가 될라 아니 삼단단 컨데스다 그래서 제단 니로 제버스 첨바 제버와 첨바 제데 삼기춘지 제민도 근데 니부르데 삼기춘지 제민도 이제 참마 까샤로 어딘데 이제 거와 마인바 마인 템베 장수 쪽수데 아니 되게 나와 뱀비딩이라 심샤 지지 이네 심 마인 바치야게 장수 쪽수데 쏟아 지스다들 예심 인기도 인기민도 약간 되기도 심지 다가가는 샤지 아니 딜리아다 쏟아치 오래서 모르지 베 낙동동 가 면조직 상당시 대비는 아니 되니 데 곰스케 제가 말아 되즈다 곰자고 gem도 고 니후드나 낙동민 러시아도 딜리 인지 낙동동지 간 대알도 곰지 자고다 니 야다 주고 니 먹는 저런데 니 메시지 되라
So how should one remain? And that is dealt with by stanza 14. But like when fainting or in sleep, do not cease all mental function. Instead, erect the outposts of mindfulness and station introspection to detect mind's motion. And so when one remains, when one rests in that space that which arises following dissolution, for example, it shouldn't be like it shouldn't be like a mindless state as when we faint or when we sleep. Everything naktumdam is when we sleep. Everything blacks out. When we faint, there is no consciousness. So resting in that vacuous, luminous space shouldn't be nothing like that. Instead, one as it says, erect the post of mindfulness and introspection. And the gist of this is, don't be in a mindless blackout state. Rather, it should be alert presence within this vacuous, luminous space.
마인 좀 교월릭배 시신도 스타디네 가지 채로 교월릭 봤지 교월릭배 시신도 이제 심 톡사메와 더비 줄들 봐 당기 나와 빈병하는 심 샤러 심 샤사 메베서 그러지 아니 가면 요소 그러지 라고 찬사 된다 예르니 소리지 제위는 아니 미데니요 말했어 근데 디파도 그랬어 디가는 심 요도 요야 말했어 그나다 두즈데스 nen가 좀 보러 아니 유월릭배 시신도 라비디 체나 디 나와 빈빈 지가 세회차 당회차 지 가르서 그랬다 지가 기승 단도 건속하셔야 될 리고도 하고서 근데 남도 규제 진반나시 요르고도 신스도 어딘데 나 빼야 보라고 그때 이 셈디 단다디 내가 치지 되되거든 나 근데 간 면조 시제로 아니 심이 교와 믹스 간 면조 배 예배 소리지 동고동양 소리 차이나 디 신심면 디도 그래서 디를 고고지야 말했어 다디나 컨디션 상황은 리진 세베 몰라스다 제가 아니 가와이나로 남도를 따대디 남도 그런 세리차 아니 세리차 당회차 세회차지 리그였다 다 딜레야 아니 가서래 숙치 중 담면 쉬운 거로 당고딜라 남도 파 예네 예외 차딜라 당자직이야 당자 중세식 예외서로 준비이나 어다 디 리진 세븐 몰라 심지 딜라 제기 뜻 디텔다 심데 슈 갑제 심지 딤라 홀라 슈데스 마장나나네 가서 그래 쇼도 걸람사 쇼도 걸라 미과디셔다 다 전바델라 나 슈데 스테이지 슈 딤제 딜라 제기 뜻 다 딜라 따지 되는 디고르스 내단데 칸데스도 따지 하고 그래서 안한테 팅하러 청와 룰레 룰레는 사로라 때 숙게 때 주고더라 청하라고 냐되니 니 라고에 수 담무 맞이나 마도 쇼르고다 때에서 담무 주는 아니 청하데 되기도 하대 야고 두스 청하 되기도 야 팅도데 팅도데 두스 숙 소때스 마데나는 팅도데 칸데지 미 소때 도문다 어때 되나시 예 삼로들라 심지 dimla jerki de sade semji mashuk teze teze shukti kyabje ni tabu ores taase soso je chamaton yosu stage 말에 chamaton yosu 되나 안제면 고미하세요 아니 미국과 차로 국과 봐 지금 미카시에 고미잖아요 국과로 차로 네가 갔다고 그래서 이지까지 하러 띵서 고미잖니 몽고도 같은데 이지까지 몽고도 까지 네 고미야 니 세운데 미국에서 차로 디 교시마 거지에서는 예선을 기할래서 그래서다 튼둘링구라 카이마신이 지켜올린 카이마신이 쓸 튼둘 기할래야 레사기요 그래서라
Gyuwa rikpe sheshin doctor waki shirti sungorwa.
심기 주와 심 샤스메워지 와 이스나는 대도 그랬어 딜 고고데 요 말았어 가면 요 예된 요소를 와 이거도 안 하는데 다 망고 연구도 공개 되지 배 가면 요 라고 찬스 제메데 요소를 서로 제되면 요소를 비 예른 요소를 와
No.
어디도 그랬어 또 거대 셔너로
No. So, station introspection to detect mind's emotion, and that is the explanation. And then, over the next page, look starkly with the utmost introspection, or I'm repeating same, sorry. Look starkly with the utmost introspection at mind's cognitive and luminous, cognitive and luminous, mind's cognitive and luminous nature. So, what is that? Pardon? Okay. Sorry, it's my fault. When it says the station, let me read it, I'm sorry. Station introspection to detect mind's motion. This is to suggest and to signal that meditation on the luminous vacuous state of mind should not be at all something that's completely empty, that is nothing at all. Such appearance of utter nothingness should be avoided. Rather, Rigpe Gyuwa Sheshinto, as it says, in station introspection to be aware of the movement of the mind, movement of the mind within the space, and then it says, "Richting seven ngola." As you watch with introspection, the clear nature of as you watch. No, sorry. Richting seven ngola rimki tila chekite. Then, what does the translation say here? Okay, look, thank you, I've got it here. Look starkly with introspection, with utmost introspection at mind's cognitive and luminous nature. So what is explained here is, as you watch the movement of the mind, pay attention. Shimki means okay. So as you see the clarity, the translucence, and knowing nature of the mind, that's what is left in the space. And then don't pay, or rather tighten the attention of the mind to seeing to seeing the motion of the mind and the clear knowing nature of the mind. One shouldn't pay intense attention to it, just marginally increase the intensity of attention to the appearing motion of the mind, as well as clear luminous nature. Like when you're holding mala, if you hold the rosary loosely, it will drop down, and if you hold it tightly, you won't be able to count the beads, and therefore you hold it in such a way that one is able to feel the movement of the beat and be aware of the movement of the beat. And the long and the short of all these is being in the present moment of luminous space of the mind doesn't should not be taken as yi chi kak means a total cessation of mental activity. And mental activity, if that is done, such a meditation can be really detrimental for the meditator, because some people who take meditation to be such a thing, so when they come out of meditation, they look quite dazed and puzzled. They have a puzzled and the dazed look about on their face. And if this is carried on, the person is engaged, and the person is in a way creating a cause to be reborn in the three lower realm, but as an animal, for example. So it's very detrimental to take watching the space of mind, the luminous, virtuous space of mind, as meaning wipe out every every mental activity loss.
뭐야, 다 두주시랍니다. 뭐야, 다 디샤와 아니 두주치다나 두주치에 말아. 아니 다 두주디 라모고치. 아니 소마하고라 마체제 아니 곰데시죠.
So there isn't much time left. Let's do this dissolution visualization. Now we have had it many times without me repeating, which you visualize the magnetic field dissolving into you and becoming one with your subtle mind.
다디 두주 베제드 된신라.
Could you recite Pandit Sawan?
지리는 이 두야 좋지. 반대자라 말이지.
Page 24. Magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus of my heart. Guide me with your great kindness. Grant me the realization Magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus of moon at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness. Grant me the supreme common realizations. Magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus of moon at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness and remain steadfast until I attain the essence of enlightenment.
자쟁이
refrain. Refrain sono refrain stanza.
Oh, sorry. By generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. By generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration. By generating a mind of compassion and loving kindness, and by completely severing the continuum that clings to holding the self, may I be blessed to quickly attain the highest state of Mahamudra through the path of total integration.
다 곰자디다 단다드네 아니 뮤티제 기즈나 신제지다 단다 생의 따당 근데 요아 기즈니 시마반제도 아니 다 데제 심라 곰자디 심라 슈자다 데제 곰디 누워치 못 차다 강가 데스 토나데스 시도이나 근데 심세야디 장배계로 장계적으로다 오늘은 슈dim세야들도 그 벤줄로선 신진 장과로 장배 다도 유게 인터뷰지 심세야 심세가 뭐 구워 dim스고 구워 심스고 뭐 구워 dim스다 구워 수자고라 슈dim스가 슈답스도 어디나 신다 심지 세리 차대가 슈딕스자위나네 심내야 당 이래가 텐도요 인자 네 그때 곰잡잡잡잡다 네 갈래갈래 슈 심기 슈 요다 메세 그저다 제일 갈래갈래 하고 용을 해서
So for meditation now, could you do the same meditation that you have been doing in the evenings and morning? So for meditation, could you please do the same form of meditation that you have been doing in the mornings and evenings? That is either by counting the breath and the dissolution of the Guru and so on, and ultimately come to face your mind. And what is the mind like? Selching Rigpa, which is translucent and knowing, an expansive, translucent knowing state of mind. And a word of caution, as we saw just now, make sure that a virtuous, translucent state of mind, knowing, should not be taken to mean total cessation of any mental activity. Instead, it calls upon to be more to be vigilant and to be more vigilant with regard to resting on the nature of the mind. As the Lama, as Benjamin Rinpoche says, Shrimki Dim. As soon as you come to face Serik means translucent and unknowing property, now give some raise the anti and give some oomph to it if you don't mind, and then tighten the concentration a bit, so that it doesn't relax, it doesn't rest on it quite loosely, but there's vividness and alertness. So this advice, Shrimgitim, tighten the concentration on the alert, on the clear knowing aspect of the mind, is to give some intensity to it. Loss.
Right, that is sure.
Okay, we'll stop here.
Okay, page 31, short mandala. Saji Bhagavad